BWOne here from BWOne, and in this video I'm going to give you my review of the HTC One A9. Now I have to admit, when I first saw the A9 I was a little skeptical on the device. I wasn't quite sure where HTC was going with this, but after using this now for about a little over a week or so, I do have to say that I can see where this could fit for a lot of people, and I think HTC has done a pretty good job in fitting in sort of that mid-tier flagship sort of phone that the One A9 sort of fits in. So let's first talk about sort of what the One A9 is really all about. You can look at the design here. Sort of has a mix between the One M9 series, the One M series, and the iPhone. You really can't get around that. It has sort of a cross between both of them there, and that isn't a bad thing. It does look pretty good, and I think it has a look that does stick out to a lot of people. I had a lot of friends that saw this phone and were like pretty intrigued and pretty interested about it because they really like the look and design and sort of the size. Very fits in the hand very well for people. If you don't even have big hands, it's going to fit well for you. You can see the looks nice, feels comfortable in the hand, not too heavy, pretty lightweight. Sort of overall, comes with a pretty decent display. It's a 5-inch display, which will turn on here. It's an AMOLED display that's at 1080p resolution, so you're not getting quite the quad HD, but 1080p should be good enough in this particular range. We're really going to hear all the specs kind of fit in this product tier's range here. On the side, you can see there's a SIM card slot, and then you also have the micro SD card slot to add additional storage, so you can get up to 2 terabytes of storage. This comes built in with 16 gigs or 32 gigs, depending on which one that you get. That also determines your RAM size, oddly enough. If you get the 16 gigs, you get 2 gigabytes of RAM. If you get the 32 gig, which we have here, you get 3 gigabytes of RAM. Not a big fan of that. Not quite sure why HTC is doing it that way, but at least you know that you have a couple of different options in terms of storage and performance. Kind of weird there. Now it does come with a Snapdragon 617 processor inside of it as well too. It has a 13 megapixel camera. You have a front-facing ultra-pixel camera as well too. You also have a fingerprint sensor here at the bottom, which is pretty nice, and it's actually pretty fast. It's pretty responsive. I just put my thumb on it like this, boom. That's how fast it unlocks. It's one of the few phones that I've ever seen unlock really this fast. I mean, it's just really easy. Boom, just like that. And it works as a home button, even though it's touch enabled. You can hit it and it can bring you back to home, which is pretty cool. So I like the fact that it gives you more than just a bottom chin that HTC was always known for. It gives you a little bit more in terms of usage here at the bottom. So I commend HTC for sort of giving us that feature, and it works pretty well. Now, speaking of the bottom here, you do have the speakers, and you do have an audio 3.5mm audio jack here at the bottom. Now, what's cool about this has a DAC built inside of it, so it's actually some pretty good audio quality coming out the headphones. If you do get yourself a good pair of headphones to listen to with, it does sound pretty good. I was bumping some pretty good music using Google Play Music, which you get 6 months free if you purchase this from htc.com. Directly, which is nice. And like I said, audio quality sounds pretty good with it. As long as you get yourself a pretty good pair of headphones. We used the Pro Studio headphones from HTC to sort of test, and it came out good. You have your USB port here at the bottom. You have your speaker here at the bottom. There isn't any front-firing speakers, so that's a little bit different than what you normally see in the One M9 or the One M series rather. But the audio quality isn't too bad. I'm gonna let you hear this for yourself as well.
So the A9 is a new flagship phone, comes from HTC. It's part of the HTC One family, and you can see its design cues looks similar to the One as HTC would put it, but just not getting around to it. It does look very similar to the iPhone, but it's coming with some pretty cool specs. So it has a 5-inch 1080p display. It's an AMOLED.
As you can see there, not too bad in terms of the audio on here. It isn't great. I wish they had the front-firing speakers that would make it really great, but it's good enough in most cases for what most people are going to probably use this for, like I said, in this product category. And you can also see that the display is pretty good on here with the AMOLED on it. Colors seem to represent themselves pretty well on here. All right, so we are running for software Android 6.0 Marshmallow, which is pretty cool. It's running HTC Sense on top of it in their UI. And it's supposed to be a little bit more pared down, but you know this is definitely Sense UI when you're using it. You do have things available to customize things as well too, but for the most part it's pretty fast. There hasn't been any real slowdown I can speak of on here. You can bring it down, we can go into their settings menu here. Everything's pretty fast, pretty snappy, multitasking. They got rid of that ugly multitask that they had before and just allowed us to have the standard one here. As you can see, pretty responsive, kind of hopping in between different apps and different things here. and you see there's really no slowdown. So it's been working pretty well. Like I said, we're using the 3 GB version, so I don't know if it slows down a little bit. If you do get the 2 GB version, we'll have to try to test that out whenever we get the opportunity to do so. So that's pretty much in terms of software and specs. Everything runs pretty smoothly on here. But one of the big features that really stands out is the camera. So HTC has pretty much changed their camera to a 13 megapixel camera on here, and they've actually updated the software as well too, which I can show you right here. Now you have your standard auto mode which has HDR on it, but you do have some other modes in here. You have your panorama mode as well. You also have your Pro mode, which is a new thing they've added, which Pro mode allows you to get the ability to adjust your white balance. You also get the ability to adjust your ISO and your shutter speed. There we go, get a little bit more into there. And your metering and such like that, and you can set them all back to auto if you want to, or do whatever you kind of do with that. So it gives you the ability to get a little bit more settings in there. And also, you have the option of shooting a JPEG or a RAW file as well too. The RAW file allows you to actually use some pro enhancements to kind of get a little bit more out of the shot and such there. With also a hyperlapse mode as well too, which we use a little bit as well. Actually, we're actually going to show you some of the video here. So we'll show you some of the 1080p video that's on here. It's limited to 1080p, unfortunately. Head back into the camera. It's limited to 1080p, unfortunately. None of the pro settings. So if you set the pro settings here, it doesn't carry over the video. So just so that you know, that video is really only in the auto mode right in here. 1080p limited, but it does produce some pretty decent quality. It's got built-in OIS on it, some pretty decent audio. We'll take a listen here. They'll also play a hyperlapse video at the end as well too, so you guys can kind of see how hyperlapse works. It's actually a pretty fun feature.
Such is definitely fall. Winter is coming. See if we get a good video here.
So as you can see, the camera is good. It's not great. I don't think it stands up to the competition in terms of the top tier flagship phones, but I think in this product line, which is the mid-tier flagship this is trying to be, I think it does a pretty good job. The cameras pretty much remind me of the quality that's pretty much on the Desire Eye, that if you remember that came out a year ago. Those both had 13 megapixel, well, that phone had two 13 megapixel cameras, one in the front and one in the rear. So in terms of pretty much that's what you look in terms of specs and such, but how does this all operate in terms of battery life? Well, you have a built-in 2150 milliamp hour battery, and I have to say battery life has been pretty good. I've been able to get through a work day really well on this without needing to charge. I've been able to get a day to about a day and a half. If I do heavy use it, I will have to charge at least one more time during the day, but that's probably roughly around the, let's say I unplug the phone at 8 a.m. It's probably around 8 p.m., 9 p.m. or so, if I'm really heavily using it, that I would need to sort of charge it up again. But I tested this more similar to a user that would be in this product category, which would be, I have just really Hangouts, I have one email account on here, I have Facebook connected and such, and I think I have Instagram connected as well too on here. Just simple social networking, simple things. It is some simple phone calls. Now, we tested this using, I took the SIM card out, but we tested this with AT&T and T-Mobile. This is the international version, so it isn't made for those networks, so I'll leave that for when we get US versions of this phone to do sort of benchmarking tests with to tell you how the quality of it is. But so far that was pretty decent on it. And overall, I really do like the HTC One A9 a lot more than I thought I was going to. I think it's a phone that fits in the mid-tier flagship product category very well. And this is something that HTC was very, very good at and was very good at before. Was really fitting into this product category. It really reminds me a little bit of, well, the specs are a whole lot better now. If you remember, they had the HTC One S and the One V. Kind of reminds me of those phones. This one right here, where it fits right in that middle range, gives you some high quality without sacrificing too much. And I think HTC has done a very, very good job here with it. So let me know in the comments below what you think of the One A9. Do you think it's a good phone that you pick up? Now, it's going at $399, which I think is a little pricey, and I believe it's after the promotional period, it's gonna go up to a $499 price tag, I believe, or maybe it's $299 and $399 after the fact. I might have the numbers wrong there. But right now, you have to buy this directly from HTC. But let me know what you think on that. If you think this is good, if you think this is a sign to the future where HTC should be going and the direction that they should be headed, let me know in the comments below. So this is BWOne here from BWOne. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the YouTube page. Connect with us on all our social networks. The links to those are in the description. And always remember to live your tech world in high definition. Thanks for watching.